This is for the lampshade. So I already saved this one. So let me just start deleting the objects here. So I don't have to do anything with the scene. All right. So let's say that's the one we want to kind of recreate, right? The, oops, wrong button. Okay. So this one right here. So super simplistic. How do we get started with this one? I'm gonna hide that for now. Okay. Yeah, let's just hide that. And then I'm just gonna go to modeling right here. So for the lampshade, we can start with we can add an object, a cylinder. Okay. When you start with a cylinder, you get this little information down here where you can change the vertices, meaning how detailed it is. 32, I think, for that lampshade is fine, because if I right click this and shade smooth it, it looks fairly smooth. Okay. I'm also going to turn on normals auto smooth. Okay. So even though it's very faceted, okay, at 32, if you shade smooth it, it looks smooth enough, right? So let's take a look at how we can model with this one. So it's super simple for that one. We can just select the top right here, and then let's say we have the photo in the back, we can just scale that and then move it down. Okay, we're almost there already. Okay, so how do we get kind of like the ridges, or kind of like where it kind of goes in and whatnot? Well, there's multiple ways we could do that. So we can do a Control R or a loop cut. This is the tool for it. Control R or Command R, it doesn't matter, it works. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the front. I'm gonna hide my camera for now right here so we don't see it, doesn't get in the way. Okay, so I can do Control R and then move that up to there. I think the cylinders for that one are quite big, so Control R. It's kind of eyeballing it that those things are kind of equal in a way. All right, so what I can do here is do another Control R in here, but I'm going to scroll my mouse so I get 2 cuts. Okay, and then I'm going to scale them by pressing S. So by doing that, it already made this kind of bolts right here. There's several ways to do this. You can even do bevel, you know, it works. So Control R right here. I'm going to position my cursor here, scroll my mouse, click to engage, and then it wants you to pick where you want to position. I want them exactly where they were created in the center, so I'm going to right click to cancel and then scale. Okay, so by doing that, we already have kind of like this silly looking contraption. So I'm going to go to my face selection, select the top and delete faces, select the bottom, delete faces. All right, so how do we make this kind of like not paper thin? There are several ways to do that. Let's take a look at it first here. Okay. We can make this into solid by simply applying a modifier. So we haven't done any modifier. We have videos on that one, but here's a quick crash course in modifier. While the object is in object mode, okay, I'm going to go here where it looks like a wrench, okay, like a crescent, and add modifier. The one we want to add is solidify. Solidify simply gives any object that's flat a thickness. All right, so right there. So you can see it used to be blank. Now we have this. There's a thickness factor here, and there's also even thickness. We want to check that. Okay, let me show you what it kind of looks like. There it is. It used to be paper thin. Okay, let me go to the thickness to nothing and then increase it. All right, so now it looks like kind of like a 3D object. Okay, but for our purpose, I don't think we actually need it because they're never going to see the inside. So I'm just going to close that. I just want to show you how that kind of works. Okay, so we can go with this. We can leave it like that for now because you can always add details to it. Okay, Let's go back and take a look at the photo. All right, so it has this kind of contraption right here. It looks like a sphere, cylinder, so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to, and there's like a donut on top. All right, so we can definitely do those multiple things. All right, so here I might actually have to go to my X-ray here, go to point mode, so I can select all this top and kind of move it up a bit. I think in the photo it's a little taller. All right, so now we want a separate object, right? So let's take a look at the objects that we have. I'm gonna go with a sphere, UV sphere, not ICO, UV. Okay, there it is. We can probably go with lower segments. I'm gonna go with 24 segments instead. All right, turn off my X-ray and then kind of move this down right here, and then probably scale it down a little bit. Let's look at the empty. Okay, maybe a little bit more right there. All right, so we'll leave it to that one, and then we're going to turn off that empty. This is the photo. Okay, here, so let's modify this. I'm going to go hit tab, go to edit mode, and I'm going to select all the points going all the way halfway. So the best way to do that is, if you look at your numpad, you see your plus and minus key. If you add control and plus on the numpad, it's going to increase the selection. All right, up to there, about halfway. And I'm going to simply change my selection from points to face mode. Okay, then we get kind of like half of it. Now I just want to delete all those, so I'm going to press X to delete and faces. We get like a hemisphere. I want to select all the edge going all the way around here. So I'm going to select number 2 or the edge edit mode. I can select 1 and click shift until your eyes turn white. Okay, that's a lot of work. Or you can simply select 1, hold down Option or Alt in Windows, click it, and then it does the entire 360 selection. This only works on a continuous selection like this. So let's say on this one I Alt click or Option click, there it is. On a vertical one I go Alt click, there we go. So it only continuous one, right? It's not going to select that all the way because there's a cut above that on that top. How do you select multiple rings? So if you click Alt select and then add Shift Alt click, you can add to your selection of rings. But we just want this bottom. Alt click, all right? I'm in the front. So what I want to do is extrude this. So I'm going to press E and kind of extrude it. But it goes who knows where, right? Which is fine, because once you extrude it one time and then you don't want to move it, just right click and cancel the move. Keep in mind there's still an extrusion in there. You just didn't move it by right clicking it. If you grab this blue handle right here, you can move it down. So now we're trying to copy that part right there. So maybe up to here. Okay, and then it has that thing at the bottom. If you remember my segments for the sphere, I think it's 24. So if we get a new object, okay, I'm going to go to object mode. Okay, if you made that mistake that you made in a new object in edit mode, it becomes part of it. And nothing wrong with that, but you know, it'll be a little bit easier for now to at least from this point on to kind of make your object a separate. So if you made add any object at this point, okay, let's say a cube. Since I made this in edit mode, this becomes one object. So you can see it when I go to edit mode, object mode. This is the same thing. Okay, we don't want that, so I'm going to click undo until that goes away. Okay, so if you want it to separate object, make sure you switch to object mode first, then add the object. So what we want is the donut, torus. Okay, so there's going to be a torus right there. It's going to be asking what is the segment. I think I added 24. Okay, so I'm just going to put major segment is 24. The minor segments, we can make that in 24 also. So it's a little bit smooth. Maybe that's too much. Maybe, I don't know, 18. All right, There we go. It's kind of match the polygon that you see here. Okay, and after that, we're probably fine. We're gonna go to number 1 here, lower that, scale it, then move it up. Okay, there we go. I think that's good. Here, we're gonna add the cylinder on top. So I'm gonna go number 1, select this part. Okay, and then I'm gonna go plus, another plus. Okay, so control plus to add that selection. And then what I'll do is go to my face mode. I'm gonna extrude this and go down. All right, so that gives me kind of like a little room right here to select the cylinder so it can go on top. So if we take a look at our photo again, it looks like cylinder going up and then a bigger cylinder going up. Okay, so let's turn that off. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to press I for inset polygon, or it's this icon right here, inset faces. I'm going to press I and drag my mouse in, so it gives it a little bit of gap right there. I'm going to press E to extrude. There's that part. So I don't know how high, maybe up to that. We can flatten this, but there's no need at this point. Okay. We go like this. Then I'm going to press E again to extrude. But this time I'm going to scale it also. So I'm going to press S to scale. All right, so it gets that big. Maybe move it up just a bit right there, and then press E again to extrude. All right, so at this point, totally up to you. What do you want to do? Some of you have OCD issues, and you probably would want to build this, even though we're not going to see the components inside, but that's totally your call. All right, so all I care is that when we put in the camera, okay, later on, it would look correct. It would look like how you meant it to look. You know, you might want to make that part taller, because if the camera goes like this, it exposes it. You know, it shows you the reality of things. So I'm probably going to move that a little bit taller just in case. All right, and then I will right click to shade smooth this. It will look kind of funky like this. It has all these normal issues, so we got to fix that normal. So while the object is in object mode, I'm going to go here to the data panel, go to normals, click on auto smooth. All right, so it keeps the parts that are supposed to be rigid or sharp, and then smooth. Same thing with this one. Oops, sorry. Right click, shade smooth, and we can just leave it like that. Okay. Here you might be thinking, what if you want this smoother? Well, this is where the auto smooth, it's not going to do its job anymore, because you're going to find a percentage right here where you would want to keep certain things as rigid and certain things as smooth. Okay, so right there is the magic number right here to smooth this, but we lost this one right here. Okay, so what we want to do is forced. So I got 46.8, maybe 50 degrees, right, or 60. 60 will probably do it, right? So we want to force certain parts here to be rigid looking. Okay, so let's see if this will work. Okay, so I'm going to go to edit mode. I'm going to go to edge mode and select that part. So alt click goes all the way around. Then I'm going to right click it here, and then I'm going to make mark sharp. Okay, so when I go to object mode, as you can see, this one at 60 degrees it's smooth. That one is kept as sharp. I didn't do it for the bottom, so you can see the difference. You see it? You don't see that cut right here because it's not marked sharp yet. Again, when I turn on auto smooth right here, that's reality, what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to go here, hit tab, select the edge, alt click, goes all the way around, right click it, and mark sharp. As you can see, the clear sharp is at the bottom. So let's say you made a mistake and you added edges that you don't want sharp by accident. You can clear those. Select them first and clear sharp. Mark sharp. There it is. And then you can even mess with the crease on this one, how sharp you want it. But I think for our purpose, that did the trick already. Okay. So there it is. Very simple lamp in tradition of cartoony looking ones. Okay. And I'm gonna save this lamp right here, and then we can start kind of coloring it. So all right, let's take a look here. Purple, multiple, same color right here. So definitely those colors right there. Okay, so let's start with the top one right here, and then it has a shading. That's because of the lighting. Okay, so I'm gonna go to shade, to the shading, click new, add a material. The base color is what I want, so I'm just gonna click this base color. There's a eyedropper. Select the eyedrop. That's the same color. You can't see it because we're in solid mode. Let's go to preview. There it is. Okay. Next object. This is a multi-part object. So if you've done the Cat in the Hat video, you shouldn't have any issues with this. Okay, you'll know which one to do. So I'm gonna add the first material to this. So we're gonna call this one blue or sky blue, whatever that color is. I'm just gonna call it blue for the purpose of simplicity. I'm gonna add another color. Click the plus sign. This one will be, I'm gonna click new right here. I'm gonna call this one green. And then the brown, okay, brown color. Plus sign, new, and brown. Okay. And then we're gonna start assigning those colors. So the brown one right here, if I click on base color, there's the eyedropper, and I'm gonna select the one that's not highlighted or shadow. So this one right here. There's that. Okay, I'm gonna go to green. Eyedropper, get the green one, not the shadow, not the highlight, but the main color. There's that. And then finally the blue one, eyedropper. I think will be the light one right here. All right, right there. Okay, so now it's already applied to the object. Maybe a little darker on that one. I'm gonna go a little darker. Depending on what kind of object this is also, right? So your roughness kind of matters. It looks like it shows shininess and whatnot. This could be, like a porcelain type. Then you can make the roughness a little bit more shiny. That's totally up to you. I'm just gonna leave it at 0.5, halfway. Okay, so I'm gonna go to edit mode and then select certain parts. So we know for a fact this one right here, I'm gonna go to face mode. Everything in here is going to be all the way here. It's the blue one, so we just need green for this, the hemisphere part, right? So how do we select that? Well, we can easily select the each ring, right? So if I click on Alt and click this vertical line, it selects that all the way around. Okay, I specifically selected the center so I can grow my selection. To grow your selection, you hit Control and plus on the numpad, not the alphanumeric, but the numpad. Click it one time, and then okay, there's one more that needs to be added right there. So what I'll do is I'm just going to Shift to add to the selection, and then Alt click this vertical line, not the horizontal. It adds to the selection. Okay, if I want to go OCD here, and I do want to make sure this is green also right here, same thing. Shift Alt click this vertical line, and it adds it. Okay, so now that this is a different color, okay, that's supposed to be the green one. So I'll go to my green right here. And then while that's selected, I'm going to click Assign, and that changed to that green. Okay, and then finally this part, I'm just going to select Alt or Option click this vertical line. It does the selection 360. Go to brown, click Assign. Okay, And of course, the last one right here, click new. Instead of eyedropping that, this material already exists. We called it brown, right? So right here, you just simply go down on the selector while the material is selected here. Then select brown, and that gives you the same kind of object right there. Okay, so that's how we get that color. Turn that off. That's how we get started with modeling all the other pieces. And then I'm going to have a series of videos modeling all the other pieces as well, so you kind of get an idea how to get started on your project. Okay, we're going to cover multiple different modelings like this. I'm going to have a bunch of videos just showing prop modeling and whatnot. So the lighting is going to be different, of course, because it's not, this is just using the preview. This is reality here, depending on the angle. All right, you're going to have to render this exactly like how it's done in the photo. Okay, so I'm going to stop the lesson here.